And hello, everyone. Ian is super
Hi.
Hell yeah.
big. There we go. Hello, hello. Happy
Remembrance.
Saturday.
Ian's extra. Never mind.
There we go.
It's me.
Happy Saturday. We are Hard Knock Dice. My name is Jones, and for the last time for the foreseeable future, I am your dungeon master for the evening. And these beautiful people beside me are your heroes and mine. Today we are going to conclude Eberron. But before we do, as we have for many a time before this, we are raising money with Extra Life specifically for the Children's Healthcare of Atlantis. Go click on that link, open your heart wallets, do the lawful kind thing, and be a hero IRL. So, I hope you are enjoying your Saturdays, everyone. I don't think we have any announcements other than this is our epilogue. This is going to be the last time we go live with Across Eberron. So we are going to give our heroes here a chance to end their stories, however they see fit. So if you still got birthday 20s, and I'm not so sure that those transfer. Those might not be transferable credits. So if you got them, you may want to consider using them. So that's just Jesus Christ. Chat continues to befuddle me to this day. Gotta turn that off. Okay. All right.
Gracious.
So I'm not going to do a recap. If you want a recap, you can go watch all 160 something episodes. Good luck. Have fun. This is our epilogue episode. I'm taking it easy.
Low ride.
Exactly. So, our beautiful heroes here before we get started, because I know there's some things that we do need to get started on, which I guess will warrant at least a small recap. Our heroes defending Eberron, fighting off madness and chaos, and the Mother of Night once again saved Eberron, at least for now. Power of the Silver Flame coursing through their veins, standing by each other's side. We ended last session with a difficult decision made by one Pippa McRoig. As she wanted to save a couple of friends from making a hard decision, she turned her dagger and put it into the heart of Gandwinir Wynarn, killing him there and transporting back to the island that they've called home for at least a little while, the ancient dragon turtle of Tuki Tuki. And that's where we find ourselves this fine day. I know there are some talks of plans and other stuff, but Shining Vanguard, it is completely on you. What are you doing?
I'm dead.
Roll
What's
for
Bruin
dead,
up to?
please. Roll for dead.
Roll for dead. What if he rolls a natural one?
He starts.
Whoa.
He resurrects. He starts living. That's how badly he
Yeah.
died.
Roll it, go, roll it now.
Roll 12. I only got a 12, so I am dead, just above average. I'm just above average at dead.
He's moderately good at being dead.
Moderately good at being dead.
Yeah, if we're getting back to Tuki Tuki, I'm gonna go find Erish, make sure folks are safe, make sure homie isn't dying, all that jazz.
That is, as I have said in the chats and last week, you're writing the end of your story here. I am not rolling dice unless you just want me to.
Word.
So narrate how it happens.
Yeah, I'll, if there's any, I mean, I guess if there's some fighting left, sweep it up, get everyone situated, get everyone safe. And once everyone on Tuki Cookie is consolidated, then I guess the Shining Vanguard needs to figure out how we're going to get the rest of Zoriat's minions off the face of the planet. We're going to how we're going to impersonate a king for a little while until maybe we can get him back. and go from there. Also, out of character question: what do people plan on doing with their imbuement of the Silver Flame? Since you guys are kind of supercharged with with a deity sort of force. Oh shit! Don't everybody talk all over themselves.
So Crowley agrees in aiding, getting rid of the Plane of Madness. So he's going to try and check and make sure, like he's going to reorganize the spies of House Fiorlin and see, keep getting the information and try to consolidate. Because I don't think there's anyone under anyone else there. Like, I don't think there's any head of house anymore or anyone below that. Not to my last. So Crowley's just going to take over House Fiorlin and distribute the spies as he sees fit.
Are you dragon art for House Fiorlin?
Doesn't matter. Simulacrum is. And so is the
Silver Flame marked.
Yeah.
Silver Flame marked. Yeah.
Crowley is also going to go ahead and create a simulacrum similar to what he did with Yuri, and he's going to create one in the image of Gandalin, as well as one in form of Crowley, and he's just going to go about placing them around while he takes his daughter and gets her ready to travel about. So that is, by the way, 4 simulacrums.
Okay.
When we zap land back on Tookie, Pip pull her dagger out of Gandolin's chest. I clean it up. Would have turned to Milo. Do you need some help here, or have you got him?
You're implying that Milo's carrying Gandalin?
Somebody. I mean, we just gonna abandon his body on the beach.
I thought
He got crammed into the bag of holding.
Oh, he was crammed into the bag of holding. Okay. Well, in that case, then she would have just gone to look for Nax to make sure he was good, and if there was anybody that needed sweeping up on the island.
I'm gonna say this again. There's no you're gonna go see if someone's good. I'm not rolling for anybody. You're narrating your story, and for your close NPCs like that, narrate that if you find him and what condition he is in, whatever condition that may be. This is your story ending. You're writing it. Today we are all the DM. Correct.
That's terrifying.
Well, I'll just keep going then. Crowley's gonna. Crowley's going to send out.
For the purposes of what we're attempting to do here, that before we get into like end game things, like I don't know, taking over House Fiorlin, that maybe
hey, there's no one there. I'm just going to keep. I've been ordering them. I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, as far as the order of operations goes, that we need to decide what we're doing today on Tookie with Gandalin.
I roll him into the water.
He's in the bag of holding.
He's in my bag. Leave my bag alone.
Just threw the whole bag in there. He's like, screw it. It's from a past life.
Viking funeral.
You don't have to worry about all the specifics. I just need to know the direction that you're going.
Right.
Zartium's grand plans.
You're kind of quiet there, Brittany.
Yeah, I did not.
I said, well, this is Artyom's grand plan. This whole
Artyom
killing
grand.
Gandalin thing. So, Artyom, what do you want to do about this?
I feel like if we can somehow maybe resurrect Sora Katra, she might be able to reverse the curse. Or she would be the only person that would know how. That's my only plan for Gandalin. Otherwise, we can try to cleanse his soul and let it go about on a new journey. If I know Gandalin, though, I would know that he would want his son to have a father. So, yeah.
Well, there's 4 right here, so why bother bringing back such a great evil?
Would the man possessed of... Oh, I seem to have frozen. 1 second, everybody.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I'm
that
stubborn.
time magic is finicky.
Real weird stuff, you know.
I mean, you weren't lying when you were saying time is finicky and weird.
This person, were we to cleanse his soul and bring him back, we already know that that wouldn't be Gandalin. And in the same vein, would it be fair to hoist fatherhood for the actions of someone else on him? Or
No, that's
hoist that man as a father onto the child?
No, I wouldn't do that. I mean, if we could get Sorakatura to somehow reverse the curse, then that would be the method of getting Gandalin back wholly to father his child the way that he would want. And I feel like a part of that is getting his family free so that there is a bloodline still going from Galifar. That whatever the daughters of Sorakel are doing, their entire plan is moot. The bloodline is alive. There are people still out there that carry that along. Whatever their issues were, Gandalin isn't the end of it. Plan foiled, etc. At the bare minimum, grandparents to the ruler of Karnath.
Finding her may take time, and right now there's a lot of people that are alive that may need our help, that do need our help.
Arjun's kind of looking between Pip and Crowley like, well, the world's going to need the king of Karnath.
Having Yuri so close to him, I think I can handle the politics of this for a while at least.
I just need someone to look like Gandalin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's fine.
Okay. It's very clear that Arjun's like, politics. Nope, I have nothing to do with that. So let's do what we can to clean up this mess that's across Corvair right now, and see what we can do to find Taraza, get his parents free, resurrect Katra, see if she can reverse the curse.
Sounds like a plan, Artyom.
And in the meantime,
Just kind of gestures broadly at what is very likely war-torn wreckage on Tuki Tuki.
Right.
So I will say, since there was no body to be dealt with or what have you, when they got there, Pip would have used the sending stone to call Nax to come meet them wherever they were, and I'm assuming he would have shown up a little bruised and battered, but whole. He's been getting stronger, learning, becoming more of a fighter, and being able to hold his own. So he would have arrived in time to kind of hear a little bit of this, and she would have stood on the edge of the group and kind of quickly brought him up to speed so that he got to hear the Artyom's plan.
Okay. In that case, the coming months for Eberron, Corvair and Eberron as a whole, will be filled with battle, strife, and death. But with no anchor of chaos, Zoriat cannot sustain itself on the material plane. Shining Vanguard and all of Eberron will fight back the plane of madness to its brink once more. The world is changed forever, and it's going to take years to recover. But that's your story to tell on how it's done.
Are we going to continue to use Tookie Tookie as kind of like a home base, or are we going to migrate onto the continent?
I mean, we're level 20. We can kind of be wherever we want to for the most part. Travel's not really.
But I'm assuming that with Zoriat gone, we don't need to go out as a big group all the time, and that will be it's going to be kind of more like it was before, where everybody was off doing their own thing, and we had kind of like a home base where we'd periodically like meet up and brief each other.
I figured we'd probably just make Karnath our HQ, since we know the king.
Yeah. The king. You don't want it to be road.
Probably move around Thrain and Kyrie a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kaushik specifically is going to spend a lot of her time helping with the rebuilding efforts wherever Neela and Lydia have decided they want to be. If they want to stay where the turtles took them, we'll be staying there. If not, if they want to come to Karnath, then that's where Kaushik will be. But wherever Neela decides that Lydia will be is where Kaushik will be, essentially.
Who would have brought? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Matt. Crowley will be trying to maintain morale and raise morale as things get pushed out. Promise the rebuilding will come once we've driven out everything, and just try to maintain the spirit of hope going throughout Corvair.
When Ganduin dies, what happens to his portion of the Silver Flame?
To your...
Got it.
Too nice. Let's go.
To everybody's... There seems to be nothing that has changed within all of you. Everything still seems to be the same. So whatever happened to it seemed to go with Ganduin.
All right. And there's no resurgence of anyone for Thrain or anything like that having any type of connection restored after Zoriat's sort of wiped off, mostly taken off the planet.
Nope.
So we kind of just leached up all their juice. All right.
Apparently.
Yeah.
There was something else that I wanted for Kaushik to end up doing, but DM, I think I'm gonna have you roll for the decision that's made by the NPC for this, if you don't mind, because I do want to, through whatever channel it needs to be done, be it like wish spell through the little ruby or whatever. I can't remember the name of it. It's on my character sheet, but hands are in my sweater. Or whatever means. I did want to free Dario's soul from his coat.
Okay.
Be that his decision being now that Kaushik has a lot more time on this earth, essentially, I don't know, being essentially undead and essentially being immortal to a point. Dario can make the decision if he wants to come back in his vampire form and live with that decision. If he wants to stay, like, I will respect, obviously, as Kaushik, any decision that he makes. It makes if he wants to stay or go back to being dead with, so that his like spirit can live on in that realm with his sister, whatever he decides to do or whatever. Or if he wants to come back as a person and then just live out what life he's got with Kaushik and then die. Whatever he wants. If you want to roll for that for me.
Sure.
I just want to get him out of that coat, I think.
Completely fair. I will say you can do one of two things. One, true resurrection, can target him, it will bring him back exactly as he was,
Okay.
meaning vampirism and all.
Okay.
Wish would give him the option.
Okay.
You also know that Wish, used in that way, would greatly weaken Kaushik for some time, and also count against your ability to ever cast it again.
Right. Yeah. With all the love that I have for Dario, that is a risk that I am willing to take if he does not want to come back as a vampire as he was.
Okay. Go ahead and roll
So-
a D100 for me.
Ooh, do I have a physical D100? I don't. Curses. 19D beyond. Don't do me dirty. Oh, but it's gonna be slow. And it's gonna be painful. The first number's 80. The second number is 0, so the number is 80.
So weakened, but able to cast it again. Let's see. And you did want me to roll for his decision, correct?
Yes. Please.
Okay. Cast Wish. Go to restore Dario. And he says, bring me back as I was.
Like as a person? Like a human person?
As a vampire.
Oh. Are you sure?
Yes.
You're not just gonna step back out into the sun again, are you?
Well, right now I'm not stepping anywhere, so...
What is you said? Do I need to do it through Wish Spell or do I need to do it through Greater Restoration?
So, well, you could have that conversation beforehand, but it doesn't matter either way.
Okay.
Through Wish or True Resurrection. Guys, can
Yeah,
everybody
True
just make sure they got NDI on real quick? Because we're doing like some weird shuffles on stream. Just double check it real quick. So you cast it, bring him back.
Yeah.
Back in his undead self. That is much better. Thank you.
Sorry about the coat rack.
We will need to have a conversation about that, but that can be at a later date. Right now, I'm just grateful.
So much happening. Sorry. Kaushik doesn't stop apologizing, regardless of how many times he says he's just grateful and that conversation can be saved for later. Like, yeah, I feel fucking awful about it. Granted, there were extenuating circumstances, and hopefully he understands that at some point, but I feel bad.
Okay.
But I guess he can help in the rebuilding efforts, too.
And he will.
Pippa would have gone and found Sidon Bormar, who he lived, I feel quite sure. I'm going to roll a D100 to see what percentage of the small forces he was leading survived. So 25. So 25% of his people survived.
So Sidon's down from like 20 guys to like
It's like
4.
3,
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
It's like him and the 4 guys that he was like holding their house, right? They were like protecting the house. But so she would have gone and gotten him and taken him to Karnath to meet with Crowley to do like a bit of a meet and greet. She may or may not have told Crowley she was going to do it her behavior is getting increasingly erratic as time goes on. Just, rolls up to the room where Crowley is, pounds on the door.
Enter.
Oi, Crowley!
Yeah, come in.
Fuck me. Come on. Oi. Have you met, I believe you've met my uncle before, yeah?
I've seen
Long
him.
ago.
We've
Oh.
met before.
That's what I thought. Anyway, he's been down en
Packing,
route.
packing.
And with you up here up north, you're both smart. You're both good leaders. I thought you could work together and make a plan. So I brought him. So, fucking plan. She leaves. This is Pip making connections.
Well,
You said,
That's-
now kids.
You're in a room together. Figure it out.
No
Bye.
kids.
well,
She's like,
I'm sure we
hey,
can.
y'all do the planning stuff.
I'm sure we can.
She probably didn't leave, but walked over to the sideboard and poured herself a drink. Anybody else? To make sure she wasn't needed or wanted, but
Raises
Needed or
definitely wanted the connection.
to newfound friendships.
Take a glass. Cheers. Well, all right. Let's get down to business. Pulls out map.
He will absolutely do that with you. And Crowley, with a pulse on the how best to say this, the undercities, if you will. That's not the right term, but I got fucking Warhammer on the brain right now.
Oh no.
Wait, Zoriat left Skaven behind? God damn it!
Underworld with Siden's finger to the pulse on the underworld of Sharn and Rote. He can absolutely come together with you and establish a level of control over these sections and these areas, these countries, that has never been possible before.
Then we're gonna get to it then.
I'd say probably after their first few weeks of the most heavy fighting are done for the forces of Zoriat being on the face of the planet, Artyom would go back to take some time to finish up on the second half of the Dwarven people to unstonify them. Get those guys up and going. Let them know Shining Vanguard and Karnath got your back. Or try thumbs up politics. You're welcome from Shining Vanguard and Karnath. They don't hate you.
Just dropping off thank you card or like your welcome cards, really.
And then
Cookie goodie
Azor's-
baskets.
Azor sending. By the way, it's Shining Vanguard and it's Azor. Thank you. You're welcome.
Unless there's anybody that has anything for the fighting after a while, then
Everyone's getting inspiration a mile out every day. There is never a day where no one is inspired. At least in the country Crowley is in. I'm gonna take 3 of those rings, put them together, and just go.
I mean, yeah, I guess during the fighting and stuff, while we're fighting and stuff, I'll be trying to keep as many of the people alive as I possibly can. So
right, absolutely.
During the big climactic battle, Dakad used an amazing spell to essentially allow him to 1v1 one of the lords, and he managed to just eke out a win. Basically, hit him with a Mordekaiser ult, but succumbed to his wounds after, but still managed to be a champion before dying.
okay.
Dakad
Didn't
life
have to
is
kill
slipping
him.
away. Blood all around you, but dying a champion. The smell of spring washes over you. It's a woman, a fae dressed in green, leaves and flowers all down. Looks down at you. Are you sure? Raises an eyebrow. We could make a deal.
He kind of looks around at the chaos. Yeah, I'm sure. And then, let's see. With a 19 on the dice, with a bluff check, pulls up his sword like something's coming behind him, and drops a fireball at his feet. Like, you're not going to get me in this last second. I'm going out on my own terms.
See that green fire just erupt from a very far camera angle, and then we zoom back in over to Cod's corpse, and flowers just fall around it in a circle.
Shining Vanguard, has there ever been a point where there was like a mourning or anything for Gandalf, or has everybody just been all about business?
We did. We had one for him.
On Tookie Tookie.
On Tookie Tookie.
Gotcha.
Well, while he was technically still alive. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you
No, keep on going.
I'd say Pip would have been going out and back, like on little solo things. She would have taken Nax with her a lot. And when she took Nax with her, she would have done a lot of like letting him take the lead, and observing, just kind of watching. And she could care less about who's running what or anything like that. Most of the stuff she's doing is she's going out to catch anybody who is taking advantage or harming vulnerable people, right? And she's taking them out in increasingly violent and gory ways. Like it's getting worse as time goes on. So with that being the case, I think Nax would try to step in and take the lead more than he had in the past, instead of letting her take the lead and intervene.
I am muting myself more than I should be. I'll say on one of these ventures, Pip probably flicking out a dagger, getting ready to do something awful. He just sort of gently lays a hand. Boy, let's have a conversation. You, piss off. You. What's going on?
He was about to beat that woman.
I understand. You took his hand for it.
Unfortunately, that would have left him with another.
One to hopefully learn from his mistakes. Not all mistakes need to be final. What's going on?
She would have walked over to like a curb or something and sat down, pulled out a flask, just kind of like hunched down. Presumably everybody would have fled at that point. So it's just the two of them. I fucked up Nax.
So?
I made friends. I got soft. And I'm glad. It's one of those two-sided things, you know? We used to talk about when we were kids. Remember the games? The toys that had the two faces? God, you used to love those things. But I started to trust some people. And Milo, Koshik, Azur, the whole crew, our team, I guess, and Crowley. And god damn, that Gandalf kid, he touched my heart. He reminded me of you. I couldn't tell you why, but he did. I couldn't let him have to kill him. It would have been too bad. But now, all the things that I did to keep all the rage and all the bad under control, there's cracks in it, my lad. I don't know how long I can stay. I think I'm gonna have to go. I just need to know you'll be okay.
I've always been fine. And I know I've always had you looking after me. I'm not going to stop you if you want to go. That's what you think that you need to do. Not my place to try to get in your way. I will say that we've both been running for a long time. Sometimes together, sometimes not. But it hasn't fixed it yet.
Aye, it's true. Sometimes when a pot's gonna boil over, you gotta make sure it spills onto something that it won't harm. And then you can deal with it after. Not leaving yet, but soon.
Where are you gonna go?
I'll be back. I don't know. We'll see. That's for Raza. She has the snow globes, and it doesn't sit right with me that she's got people's souls tied up in them. I think I'm gonna go look for her. Not today, but soon. Maybe this week. I think of it more and more.
Anything
Sounds
I
like
can
the
say to
idea of
change-
being trapped. Oh, sorry.
It's all good. Anything I can say to change your mind?
Nah. You know me. When it's time to get to move, it's time to get to move. There's stuff to be done. We've got all this magic and shit now. We can keep in touch. And I think you've got a good crew to keep you back.
You've got some pretty good friends too.
Oi,
I'm sure they'd
need
understand.
to check on some. Aye, probably. Aye, you need, if you get a chance to go to the Plane of Air, take a hell of a Azur, take you there. I've got my buddy Zod. He's a good time. You could check on him. I hope he's there. I don't know.
We'll go have a drink.
Sounds like a plan, my lad. He can tell you about the time that we almost stole the royal treasure. So fucking close. Oh, we had a crew. Anyway, that's a story for more drinks. Let's go. She'd stand up and kind of dust herself off, take a last drink, put it away. All right, well, everybody's fucking gone now, so I guess we should head back.
It's a good idea.
But if Pip did steal them all, could you imagine later on, Azur's dad pops in, oh, my beautiful, hey, are those my cufflinks?
Probably. Wait, she didn't get a necklace while we were there.
Hell yeah. But definitely in the same page with Pip. Artyom would still make efforts to try and find Terraza wherever she might be hiding, and with combined efforts or sojourns to different planes to put feelers out or whatever, eventually trying to corner her somewhere, get the rest of the posse together to see what can be gleaned from confronting her.
You guys tell me what makes the better story.
I'll roll some dice on my own then.
Hey, yo.
All right. Who? I guess with an 89, we'll eventually find them in. Let's see. What's the roundabout number? 11 months. It takes almost a year to eventually track her down.
Only a year.
I don't know.
Okay.
What the dice say?
Yeah.
11 months. I mean, that's longer than this entire campaign in the story. So I feel like she was pretty well hidden for multiple level 20 homies trying to find her.
More like 11 minutes.
Yeah.
For 11 years campaign time.
Right. Yeah, I guess we'll get the band back together. Sally forth wherever she's at, square up with her, and take her down. See what she. Hopefully, she still has Gandolin's snow globe. Gandolin's parents' snow globe with her.
I'm gonna say. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go ahead.
I was say, for my part of the storytelling, I would say that she did, and I would say that Pip had not been. She just went off on her own and was looking on her own. But when she got the call that Terraza was found, and it was time to get the band back together, she would have shown up. And this time, instead of fighting, she just would have done all that rogue stealing shit, and she would have been like getting all the snow globes while everybody else was doing distraction and making a point. She would have, maybe she didn't get them all. Some of them got broken. Unfortunate side effect of combat. But because I want it to be true, it will be true that she got Gandolin's parents' snow globe. And so when they leave, as they get ready to go, or as the rest of the crew finishes up, whatever, back to Artyom and the description of the fight. But she's got a whole sack full of globes.
The fact that you keep calling these snow globes, it just makes me think Sora Taraz is like evil Santa Claus.
Oh god.
She's like, I have to have the whole collection. These are all collectible snow globes. I've got Infernals over here.
So, I hadn't spoken up about Milo or Otto yet, but I think this is where it would be a little bit important or divergent, because y'all will not have really seen Milo much at all over the next, I guess, 11 months until intervening with Sora Terraza, as Milo's future, not just for the next 11 months, but ongoing, is the less dramatic explanation, is functionally becoming a cryptid. A few different things. Milo is still on the run from the Solars and such, but despite the fact that he has lost most of his void magic, he still knows a great deal about it, and is possessed of both the ability to create great acts of artifice and the Silver Flame. And between having the Mortar and Pestle of Baba Yaga and the Spindle of Fate, is basically going to kind of vanish. Still popping around every now and then to see his parents. I refuse to roleplay an interaction between Milo and Otto, but I will say he eventually will have
Why? Do it.
No.
Make him kiss.
We want it.
Like that, you fucking weirdo.
Develop a relationship with his son, and to continue his relationship with the members of the Shining Vanguard, but both so he doesn't get smoked, and as a protection for those around him. He is, I guess, still a sort of on the run kind of outlaw. Also of note, while he probably will have, due to the nature of him having returned, he has all of the pieces of the hags and the mortar and pestle of Baba Yaga. With him taking things from the realms that they existed in, will have been able to return to those areas. So I think it not unlikely that him giving Artyom hints, like popping by, dropping letters, sending, so on and so forth, may have helped direct y'all to where Sor Taraza is, but he will not have participated in the attack. Otto and whatever representatives the Iron Vanguard most certainly would have. Otto being much more suited to the flashy, visible nature of a hero more than his father. As a matter of fact, as Milo lives out his extended silver flame fueled life, would have done very little combat. He will be as done with violence and weapons as he can be, and is going to try and live up to still doing good to make up for all of the terrible things he did do, but make up for them by doing more beneficial and positive things. And I like to think he would have become a kind of a mythical creature almost of sorts. Like I said, a cryptid. I don't know what he would be called, but there you go.
Santa Claus.
What?
Santa Claus is a cryptid, let's be real.
What is Otto doing in light of everything?
Continuing to lead his floating city, and continuing to try and wield the balanced shield and spear of being a much more direct and in your face and public hero, and being a voice for the Warforged in the now completely refreshed global political stage.
Artyom probably would have put a bug in his ear about the fact that Warforged Colossi, or at least, a cyborg, a weird amalgamation of a Colossi and a half, kind of helped save the world, and that the Warforged did come in and kind of stop the world from ending, right? And that there is a huge kind of vacuum as far as political power is concerned, because House Orion doesn't really have a leader currently, and I'm sure a lot of their infrastructure in the middle of the whole country is kind of fucked up beyond all recognition, and it seems like a pretty interesting spot maybe for the Iron Vanguard as a whole to carve a niche out in this new land. If there's anyone that understands mass transportation, it's the guy who made vehicles in 30 minutes in the middle of a wasteland.
Right. Just FYI, I don't know if y'all remember him planting a bomb in the Warforged Colossus. There would be no more Warforged Colossus. That is something he would have made sure of right there at the end. Sure. No more super weapons. And if I know Merrick's was pursuing the creation of more of the I can't remember what they're called, the things that create the Warforged. If any of those were created or discovered, it would definitely be a you can turn the ability to create Warforged over to the Warforged, or you will be made to do so.
Awesome. I mean, I guess if the entire sort of governing body for the world gets turned on its head, you can kind of just remake the laws and however you want them. Like, this is illegal, but if it happens, it's ours.
Well, I don't know if Merrick's was ever in possession of one, but it would be one of those that if it came to Otto's attention that he was in possession of one, it'd be like, thank you very much for your generous donation at gunpoint.
Hell yeah. Artyom would have definitely made sure that Autumn wasn't terrified of the clone of her husband, that she would be safe from Gandolin, and made sure
Husband.
that she, whatever, baby
Real.
daddy,
Or hook up.
sure, whatever.
For John. I'm just being real.
Mm-hmm.
And
That was Artyom's fault, actually.
like, don't blame this on me.
I will. It was his fault.
You could have declined.
You could have also not tried to make me cheat at the fucking
I
game.
didn't make you cheat. I tried to
You
cheat
did.
for you.
Yeah, exact same thing.
Nope.
Same result. I got
Um,
kicked out either way.
in any case, made sure that that kid was taken care of, in where it should be as a little princeling. Pop in every now and then, make sure it's not growing any horns, doing some detection magic on it, hopefully building a rapport, with Autumn. So you remember that one time? That was ages ago where I made you think your son died. Funny times, right? It was water under the bridge, right? Okay, I'll leave.
Didn't Autumn say she did not want her son to have anything to do with the throne of Karnath?
Oh, I mean, if she lets Artyom know that, he definitely wouldn't.
That's what I was trying to remember. I thought that was said in the last conversation Artyom's had with her. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I might have misunderstood that, but if Autumn didn't want to have anything to do with the royal house, he would have been like, okay, I got this place in this swamp that I know of you can hang out in. It's really secluded.
I don't remember. I'm legitimately asking. I thought it got mentioned when he last talked to her, and I thought she was like, I don't want fucking anything to do with that, but I can't recall exactly.
Well, she did mention that she could keep him away from all of them.
That's what it was. Yeah, she just said she would be able to keep him away. That's right.
But
She would have an excellent relationship with her great aunt and great uncle, though.
Yeah, she was staying with. Yeah.
Well, I know of a place that has some folks that manage to raise super awesome kids that could potentially have a good. I guess it's being kid that could potentially have lots of great manners for maybe ruling the country one day.
I like to imagine this conversation is held, Autumn, with the kid in a baby Bjorn and a crossbow pointed at Artyom the entire time.
And Artyom was like, hey, it's not even a magical weapon. You shoot me in the eyeball, I'll regenerate it right back.
He'll bounce off. Man of Steel style.
No, it won't do that. He's got a plus
Till
one
he-
con. Let's
Till he
not
sees
get it.
Azure in the corner, like,
I'm not
yeah,
going to
she
have
doesn't
my
like you,
Keyleth
bud.
goldfish moment to where I say we're practically gods and then I get double nat 20 through the eyeball, and that was the end of Artyom. Hey, you said you weren't rolling any dice, Theo. You get out of here. Whatever Autumn's choice is, we'll make sure she gets taken care of, either in seclusion, with moderate comfort with Erish's family, because they're super cool at raising children right, or however she wants to do it.
Well, you approach her, shoot, and then make her aware that there is a clone that is stomping around. She will ask, well, yeah, I mean, do you plan on... Is he coming back?
We were going to try to reverse the curse, but to do so, we're going to have to resurrect one of the daughters of Sorakel and try and force her to undo it. It's not an easy process, and it probably won't happen anytime soon, but
I am so lost when it comes to this because he was so clearly negligent and now he is dead. But I still feel the need to it's his son too.
yeah. I'm not going to tell you what I think Gandalf would want for his kid, but he'd want him well taken care of, I feel like. I don't think he'd want his kid to want for anything. But I also don't think he'd want his kid to be pampered either. So, beats the fuck out of me, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Thanks for whatever that was. I appreciate it. I am more lost since you have walked into this room.
I'm just going to reach into my pocket. Well, I can give you thousands of gold. You will be fine. I can provide you safe places if you want to have complete solitude in a swamp. But I can have quick transport back and forth through. I can make sure you're supplied, you're hidden away from everyone, and that you'll be safe there. I can get you with some people that I know that would be with a nice family that would be able to give him a good education and raise him as it's Erish's family. They are extraordinarily nice people. They could help make sure that he was well in that established. I mean, you would be with him as well. It's just none of these options are you separated from him. Or we could take you to the palace itself, and you could live in the castle as people whispering about you being the consort, or however you want that narrative to play with, as much as Crowley maneuvers things. Hell, we can make you queen if you really wanted to, probably. It would probably be more complicated and maybe talk to other people, but I'm not going to promise the queen one, but we could definitely have you live in the castle.
How about we figure out what you're going to do with him first, and then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and then I'll make a decision from there.
Okay. Well, I will check in, and hopefully you don't shoot me from time to time.
Don't test your luck.
Okay.
I laugh. She's not.
Just backs up there. It was good seeing you.
Wish I could say the same.
Give him a name.
Okay.
Super flash scene to Pip in the wilds of the north, and it's a little bit of a mirror to Gandalf's screaming in his cube of silence, as every images flash really quickly of every beating, of every murder, every beating she endured, everything just flashing quickly and overwhelming her. And instead of crying, it's just screams. And then when the screams die, then she goes back and reconnects.
Probably looks for Kaushik, actually. Have a little girl time. Do a little braid.
That'd be fun. You can braid Lydia's hair too. And Neela's if she wants it.
As I say, it's a braid competition between Dario and Pip. Like, who's better? they like friendly joking around, but ha ha ha, mine is really better.
Darling, the only way yours is better is if I have a hand tied behind my back.
Oof.
I mean, if you're saying you could do it one-handed, that could be arranged.
You have interesting
It's
friends.
getting real spicy for a braiding competition.
Does Pip still have the long arm? She give him the
No,
braid
that
from
makes
way
sense.
far away.
Damn it. Oh, that would be great though, right? One-handed, 10-foot reach braiding.
That's
That would be
awful.
He's just relaxed across the room with a drink, braiding across.
Dario's doing that without mutations. He's just tall. Okay.
Did we just skip over what happened to the fucking snow globe with Gandalf's parents' souls in him?
Currently, it's still
We're
just
coming around to
on
it.
ice.
We're getting to it. We're getting to it.
We're getting
Swallowed
back
it
around to
whole.
I think
Yeah.
we get to it. Let's get to what happens
before-
with that.
Okay.
Yeah, if we get to that globe,
Yeah, you guys have it.
we release the souls of his parents and see what happens.
But they're dead, so.
That's true. Again, tell me what the goal is here. Tell me how it happens.
I mean, we'll resurrect them parents for sure. It's one of Gandalf's biggest goals. His whole mission of starting this is to get his parents back. There wouldn't be any way we wouldn't resurrect them. And in
Yeah.
doing so, the biggest thing is we need you back to get your son back. If we want to go through the resurrection process, I think like that would be the biggest thing, is that this is what your son ached for, and he's in a position to where he's going to need you to get him back.
Before the resurrection, freeing them from the prison is a feat in and of itself.
Okay.
But doing that, talking to their spirits at this point. Where is he?
He's currently not living. He was cursed by one of the daughters of Sorkel to not be himself any longer.
He's in the bag.
He is in the bag of holding, being preserved in an ethereal or astral pocket at the moment. Just, why I got you guys here, what is the whole story with the daughters of Sorkel coming after you? What kind of deal did you make?
While you have their spirits here and are tangling them on the balance of life and death.
Well, I thought this was a conversation before we started the red, like inside the orb before we were getting them out.
Right.
They're like bleeding out underneath the carriage. Like, so anyway, what's the whole story with these?
As they're
How
in
did
their
we
own
get here?
curated personal hell. No, Bestian will tell you exactly as it played out. He was a royal who wanted to be anything other than that. For the sole purpose of he fell in love with someone he wasn't meant to. He was part of a bloodline that has existed for years and years and years, to which he didn't really know the extent of it, but his hand was sought by more than just the daughters, which is he didn't know they were the daughters at the time. They came in disguise. They came to trick him and to trick everybody, but he had already fallen in love. And so when the boot hit the floor, so to speak, when it was demanded of him, or it was shown like the sisters really just kind of showed who was in control of the situation, he ran. He got a couple of rings of non-detection from his friend Pietro, and he took off with the woman that he loved.
Well, there is good news. The world was almost destroyed. A lot of those, let's say, what's the word I'm looking? Fuck, Irish is better with these things. Monarchy situations where you have to do this and you just do whatever the fuck you want now. You marry whoever you want to. None of that's a problem. But Gandalf, I knew him well for the short time that I did know him, but he yearned to have you back into his life, to figure a way to bring you back. But you are trapped here, and I am freeing him, and hopefully, I am freeing you, and will hopefully be able to free him.
Sort of look at each other. We'll find him.
He's not the same. He's been cursed to make him not the same person.
Doesn't matter. We'll find him. You said you would help. We'll find him. Help us from there.
Okay. I guess I'll give you guys a couple of weeks or something and then peek back in.
Well, I am hoping that we are not still in here.
No,
the goal is to let us out of here and us go looking for him. Okay, all right.
Right.
Wonderful.
Correct.
I will knock over a book or something near you.
Okay. Sure. We'll go through the process of freeing them from the snow globe and jump back in a little bit later to see what his parents' spirits have discovered with their son.
Where do you think they find Gandalf?
Hell, probably.
What sort of afterlife is Gandalf in? God damn it.
I mean, is there an afterlife? As far as I'm aware, what we've got is oblivion, or if you happen to be a dwarf, the ancestors. Those are your options. Like the only people getting the afterlife are dwarves.
There's a cabin.
He's in the holes.
Wander around the cabin for a while.
I guess that.
I mean, in all reality, it depends on if we want to confirm there's an afterlife or not. Because if we don't, if it is the fact that his soul hasn't reached it somehow, it is probably because he is actively avoiding it. He's avoiding crossing over. Because I mean, somebody might make a mistake, or he might somehow come back at some point. And he'll keep doing what he was doing. Can't do that if you're dead all the way.
It's just some place to try to cross back over, trying to figure out a way.
Yeah.
Where do you think that is?
I mean, I presume part of the cursing of the soul is soul is marked. It is no good. So probably part of that is when the soul passed, it was bound for the keeper, and it's probably actively fleeing the clutches and hiding from the clutches of the keeper, probably only through the grace of the fact that he is in possession of a piece of the silver flame. So it is hiding from that soul-eating actual capital G god with the capability granted to him by a bit of what used to be a capital G god, but is now lowercase.
Okay. So in some portion of the spirit world, his parents will come back to you, letting you know that he has been found. Milo teleports out of existence.
Welcome
Milo,
back.
Milo teleports back into existence.
Cryptid.
Yeah, I would. I guess Archeon's level 20 druid figure out a way to pierce the veil to converse with Gandolin's parents.
Well, you know a friend that's pretty good at that sort of thing also.
Yeah. They've done it a couple of times.
I'm talking about Azure, clearly.
Of course. Yeah, we can.
Obviously, come on.
I get Kaushik in there with me. We can. What do you mean, you split my soul apart and you fucking made Crowley a new body after taking his soul out of his daughter? Yeah, we're all gonna have pancakes in your cabin. Let's go.
Souls are kind of your thing at this juncture.
I guess.
All right, folks.
Listen, Crowley had it all plotted out, guys. There was a blueprint, at least.
You got Gandolin's parents, who have a location for Gandolin. You have someone willing to go on the other side, at least one person. 2 people. You have someone that can do it.
Azure's going to.
What else are you trying to get before this?
Well, I'm just trying to communicate with his parents. I'm not saying I'm doing nothing at the moment.
Okay.
Just trying this. They said that we'll find our son, and I'm like,
did.
okay, well, let's talk. We're gonna have a conversation. Step into the cabin. Hey, you know, I don't even know your names. I'm just gonna call you Gandolin's parents. I guess you found him.
We did. And Gandolin's parents is out. My name is Gwendolyn. This is Bastion.
You know, I think I knew that, but I forgot. I'm bad with names, and also the end of the world was happening. So,
You don't get to use that excuse anymore. That's a lie. End of the world's gone. You're done.
It was
Already happened.
happening when I first heard those names, and the world was
That
happening.
excuse
So
is
I
gone,
forgot
brother.
it.
You got to come
Yeah.
up with a new excuse.
I'm pretty sure you heard their names well before we knew the world was ending.
Yeah, well, Artyom's lying, so I thought that he's just full of shit sometimes. Well, what did you discover in your seeking of your son?
That he is attempting to cross back.
Okay. Did you interact with his spirit in any way?
Not yet.
Okay.
With what you're doing, what you're attempting, will this be the last? Could this be the last time that we get the chance to speak to him?
I don't know. It could be. Either we figure out the way to resurrect Dr. Sorakel and see if she has the ability to undo this curse. And if she does, we can do it. And then if that goes well, then we'll be able to bring him back. We can bring you back. You will all be together. If it is impossible to reverse, don't want to consign his soul into a bad place, a place where this curse would take him. And in that scenario, he would not be Gantlin anymore. He'd be a different individual entirely. Different body, different practically for all intents and purposes, a blank slate.
Silence. Not a whole lot they can say to that.
If you found your son and he's attempting to make his way back, that information actually, in a way, makes me want you to see him like this less. I feel like if you were to somehow approach him, that there's a very good chance that he would see your connection to him as a weakness, and he might try to do something to you, or to piggyback off of you, or to use you to meet his own ends of getting back to the material plane. Your son was good. He is not now, and it is not his fault.
Do what you can on your side.
Okay.
Let us know when it is time.
All right.
We will not be leaving here with you today.
I understand.
There is more to do.
Okay. Thank you. I'll leave the cabin. Oh, okay, so they're going to stay on the other side and figure out some stuff. We gotta go resurrect an evil daughter of Sorkel and strong arm her into saving our friend.
You guys have true resurrection. You don't gotta go anywhere. You can visit that cabin pretty much at free 99 right here, right now.
I don't want to necessarily. Well, I mean, I guess we could bring her to the cabin, Sorokatra, but
Oh, she has to let you guys bring her back.
Yep. You guys have no idea how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
You're attempting to resurrect an evil bitch, which, with the exception of Gandalin, there's not been a lot of resurrecting of completely just evil people, like capital E.
Well, if we're going on,
Gavin was still good when he was resurrected last time.
if we're going on a spirit sojourn, I say we bring all the boys with us in case we got to square up with this bitch and be like, hey, we'll take your ass to oblivion too. There's no chance of you coming back if we make you into a null entity in the grand scope of soul energy.
I mean, how long is this presumably taking place after everything?
Almost a year.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is 11 months after.
Yeah, because we got Terraza, and a couple of weeks after we got Terraza is basically when this is happening. So Terraza was found 11 months later. So I assume we'd call the whole Vanguard back and be like, okay. Call Otto, call Broom, get everyone in here. Get the Cod Spirit in here to be like, let's square up with her too if we have to.
We're getting spirits. Malcolm Spirit got to be there too, bro.
Less than the act of having it be like a fight. I mean, Milo's basically just wandering around, keeping an eye on things and collecting information. If he found anything about binding or like, some kind of like seal that could be put on her new form or something, definitely would be utilized.
All right. Well,
the change alignment bubbles, maybe.
Yeah, I guess we'd try to call her to the cabin have a meeting.
You attempt to call her to the cabin. You all take a trip to the cabin. And calling out Katra's name, a staircase opens in the floor of the cabin, just in the middle of the floor, and leads down.
She's hell.
Yeah.
You guys find out that is very accurate. After walking down an impossibly long staircase, black obsidian, shattered lands around you. You walk through what is just an endless line of individuals that at first looks like they're walking towards a large moving, like undulating pile of flesh and gold, and then you realize that it's just millions of spirits climbing on top of one another, like flesh forms attempting to get to the top of this pile of gold. Sora Katra waiting in line for it, standing there. Soldiers standing around all of these spirits, just waiting her turn. Nobody reacts to your presence here. The soldiers don't do anything. They seem to be only there for the for the spirits that are in line. She is absolutely an A version of hell.
So she's just being guarded by these soldiers, or these soldiers? Okay. Yeah. I will call out to her to try and get her attention. Katra.
Just looks over at you.
Yeah, it's me, fuckface. You want to get out of? You want to get out of here or not?
I'm listening.
You got a way to reverse your curse.
Okay.
Do you have a way to reverse your curse?
Sure.
Are you lying to me? I would like to insight check her. As well as, I don't know, can you detect thoughts on a spirit?
You can absolutely try.
Sure. I'll do both of those things.
Guidance.
What is guidance? Disadvantage? Or
You add a D4.
add a D4? All right.
Yeah. All right.
That makes that a dirty 20 plus Artyom things. 26.
Okay. As far as you can tell.
So if you have a place, a way to actually remove these curse, what is the first step in doing so? And then we'll talk about the next steps after that.
The first step would be unwriting it, so writing it backwards.
Okay. Well, this is a fun place. If I cast a resurrection on you, are you going to have to fight out of here, or will you be able to freely come?
I've never been resurrected out of here. I'm not exactly sure. She's waiting in line. She like holds up the line a little bit, and the butt of a spear end just cracks her right in the back of the head. She steps forward another like 6 paces.
Artyom just fucking laughs. Yeah, don't fall behind. Hey, soldier dude.
Just completely undead, like skeletal face, like black helmet with black horns coming off of it.
I'm probably going to steal her out to here. You got a problem with that? Okay. Artyom will do Artyom things. He'll turn into a literal silver flame infused coatl and then just try to, by the spirit neck with tail around her neck, just start to yoink her back to the cabin and see what happens.
She's gonna try to resurrect her from right here.
Well, at least pull her from hell to the cabin. So
yeah, this isn't this is all spiritual. So this is like you
Right.
casting a resurrection spell to get her up there. Yeah.
Right.
She'll accept it. She'll
Sure.
come along with you. yank her out of her chains, some other soul immediately fills her position.
Hell yeah.
You guys see
Morsels.
It's Gandalf's.
Oh shit. Damn it.
no, it's Jarrett Wellham's spirit. Nobody remembers that name. That's okay. We'll get to that name here in a little bit.
Yeah, that's
I don't
that's the one-
remember.
That's the one from Spoopy Place.
Mhm.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
so
Spoopy
fucking
place.
specific. Thanks.
The Mornland, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Completely different.
Jarrett
Okay.
Wellams.
Yep.
What all NPCs have we met that deserve to go to hell?
He lays there in a chair and says,
Quanti.
my dad definitely paid for better places than this. And you guys teleport out of there.
Okay.
I still don't remember.
It's okay.
Shit.
Resurrecting Katra.
Of course, we're gonna have
She's gonna try to teleport as soon as she's resurrected.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is that I would like
was-
to take precautions before this happened so that she would be resurrected into Alexander's house, which is now the center of a druid grove that Artyom has made over the past 11 months.
So she attempts to teleport out and just immediately bounces around a lot in this area. So just you see green energy, and then she just rolls onto the floor.
Hello there.
Yeah.
Nice try.
Oh,
It's worth a shot.
I believe it would have been pertinent that Milo's contribution here, talking about the seals and glyphs that he would have, learned as he's kind of skirting through the planes of existence. There is probably a giant sealing sigil around this grove, and he's basically he didn't go in with them. He's standing outside of, kind of cognizant and awake, just with the spindle of fate, waiting for her to get out and try, so he can be like, no.
Milo's got
She
a
tries to
proton pack
make a
just in
charisma
case.
check to get out of here. Right, you know what? Will succeed with a 28 on a charisma saving throw. However,
Damn.
spindle of fate. Just instant green energy back onto the ground. Can't
All
thank
right.
a girl for trying.
No, I
We can
completely
do this all
understand.
day.
So why did you hate the line of Gallifrey so much? Because they didn't marry your puppet in place? I mean, what gave you such bad blood? Made the beef so big.
Beef so beefy.
It was never anything personal.
Really? I kind of feel like using your last bit of effort on material plane when people are coming to kick your ass to make someone evil seems pretty personal to me.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't have been that way if we would have won. We lost.
Really? Have you spoken to Taraza? Seen her?
Nope.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but she is no longer on the material plane or any other living planes. We do have access to Gandalf's parents, so if you are trying to block the line that he had for blood, that ship's already sailed. We just want our friend back.
Okay. Ian.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in your hands because it's your story.
Yeah.
Does Katra have a way of reversing this or not?
No. She lied to get resurrected.
That's where I was going with it. Don't make it hurt too much when you send me back.
Don't make it hurt too much when you send you back. What you mean?
I got nothing for you. Neither does anywhere else.
Little stabber.
It's not like a. God, I have too many hit points to die in one hit from that. Oh.
We're gonna take our time.
It's just spiritual Coatl with silver flame fire. Just everyone's just
Pew,
bitch.
pew,
You
pew.
waste our fucking time.
Pew, pew, pew.
Blue party.
Yeah, like Pip would have been quick on the alert for that, and like, absolutely, like no.
Okay. That being said, we'll get.
We send her to worse hell?
We send her to the back of that fucking line, wherever.
That's exactly what happens. She pops out in the back of a 100-mile line, just looks along all of these souls of greed and ambition, and just says, "Fuck."
That's gonna be the yearly reunion. 2:00 in the morning. Shining Vanguard gets together. They go to the material plane. They'll be like, back of the fucking line, bitch.
Time to resurrect her again.
He's just looking at it going, I don't want to go with it. Fuck.
I love the pettiness of that shit so much because she couldn't not take the chance that this would be the one time she could get away, right? So every time she would go.
What if I made the save and got out of that damn grove? Fuck.
I really just want to soul cage her, but I know that only works on humanoids. I want to break that soul, Jones.
One day Milo will figure out how to put her in a crystal, and then her soul will be used to power something that actually does good in the world.
I was actually gonna say one of Milo's projects, obviously super long term, would be figuring out how to release all of those child souls in the ultra generator in the demiplane.
The nuke?
Yeah, I figure we'll get through this resurrection piece and then everybody can go there. God damn it, Odin. That fucking emote is hilarious. So we'll get through that resurrection process, and then you guys can just narrate up until the end for your character. If that
Somebody
sounds
else
good
go.
to
I'll be
everybody.
right back.
So Kadra has admitted that there is no other way. That once it is done, it is done. You guys have sent her to the back of the line of hell. What's next? She is a
I'll
liar.
find a way.
She is the epitome of a liar. She will always lie.
I'm gonna find a way. Don't you worry.
She's a lying liar.
And Katra has just confirmed, even after the threat of being sent back to hell, that there's no undoing this.
You need super ultra wish, which doesn't
Threatening to
exist.
take her toes. Yeah, I'm threatening to take her toes.
Need that 10th level spell slot, know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be level 25 to get him out of there. Well, the ringleader stepped away, so.
Y'all a bunch of followers. What the fuck is going on here?
Milo's busy.
I guess the next best thing is going back to plan A, which was to just
Oblivion soul.
cleanse his soul and hope for the best. Right?
Okay.
You never know. The new guy might want to be a dad.
All right.
I'm telling you, my friend now. We're having soft tacos later.
Yeah, we would go with the other plan, which would be Oblivion, and go through the process of doing the memory collection thing of essentially providing this guy with Erish dream candles of what Gandalin was and what he what that soul used to be capable of, all the good deeds and the way that the Shining Vanguard personally remembered him as.
That's
I
for the
think
return
Part
trip.
of that.
Do what?
Sorry.
I said that's for the return trip.
Right, if we get him back.
Gotta get him there.
We're gonna go to Oblivion first.
Gotta get them there, and you gotta get whoever's taking them there, which it could be multiple people helping each other.
Yeah.
That's the aid action for advantage on rolls.
Mhm, mhm.
I will definitely be participating in that.
Let's go.
The whole group might need to be there. Let's go.
Dangerous.
I will drag Pip kicking and screaming
Yes.
if I have to. But Pip will also be participating in it.
I think this is probably going to look
Put it
like
like that.
it's going to look like your resurrection rituals in the past, where 2 full spirits are going to actually to risk themselves to bring back something that might resemble Gandalf. But also bringing those glowing orbs of light in the forms of those memories to Artyom's point here to instill back onto this cleansed spirit. So we'll get to those in a second. Can you cast resurrection?
Is that what we're supposed to be doing? I thought we needed to get his soul and basically face check him into oblivion until there's not much left.
Resurrecting him is the journey. This is just
Cool.
the like.
Gotcha,
This is
gotcha.
the road
Okay.
That's how
that
we
you're
grip
driving
him.
on.
Miscommunication there, my bad.
Jones, have you already rolled the
I
D100?
cast a spell, we grip a Gandalf, we toss him into the sun, and we pull out his charred corpse as a new man.
Into the sun? Where did the sun come from?
The proverbial sun. Okay.
Oh.
The spiritual
To
sun.
into
The
Eberron's
precious
sun.
soul.
It's the soul furnace.
That'll clean its soul. Jeez, I think that'll clean all of our soul.
Gosh, it goes, oh,
Soul-
we got real mixed
soul-
up there.
SOL, not SOUL.
I have not rolled any D100s. What would I be rolling a D100 for?
I believe it had to be reincarnate, correct? Not resurrection.
Correct. I have not rolled that.
Gotcha.
I still think that is on the back end of things.
Gotcha. I was just curious if I could go ahead and know.
Archie put his finger up. Why'd you put your finger
Yeah,
up?
that
Archie?
was because I don't think any of you guys have reincarnate, do you?
I certainly don't.
So this is Toshik casting like true resurrection while RTM's casting reincarnate. Someone laying the path forward and someone laying the path to get back. Because I need to look up that table. 'Cause I'm a dummy.
And I think like Pip she wouldn't have stepped up because this wasn't like her plan. But if Kaushik was like, yeah, no, go, she would have felt some responsibility since she was the one that killed him. So she would have
Okay.
gone without too much fight.
Oh yeah, you are responsible.
Okay. So
I probably
here's what
would-
I need. I need 2 people that are going to be essentially wrestling his soul to oblivion. The other way back, on the way back, the rest of you, whoever the 2 aren't, be thinking about what memory you're going to be instilling upon this new spirit, if it gets that far. The 2 that go, be ready if your character doesn't make it back.
I'll go.
Are you sure?
Yeah, unless somebody else wants to go. I'll go.
And I'm obviously going.
I don't think me and you can go. I think
Oh,
we're
I
kind of.
can't go.
I think we're stuck
Uh,
on the back end for.
I'm not gonna stop you guys.
You're
from
stuck
going.
on the back end. I got us to the front end.
Okay.
I got us in. You get him out.
Sounds like it could be a very rough and tumble ride, wrestling his soul down.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit like my kind of game. I'll go.
Ian's like, I'm killing every one of y'all.
Motherfucker's like, you!
I'm not letting Azor go. He's already had a character die. I'm not letting that happen to him again.
Gain the one spirits like that emote in chat right there, like, come and fucking get it.
Unless Milo wants to go. He's got another character.
When you're saying Milo has another character, it's like these characters getting together and playing
Step on up,
D&D
Milo.
above Gainwin's dead body.
Maybe they do.
I mean, hey.
That's weird.
It's been like what, a year and a half, haven't we been? We've been doing lots of things over his dead body.
Y'all are strange.
He's been in the
I
bag.
don't think I want you to have that bag of holding anymore.
Shit got weird after a while. It just got like.
You know what they say, that absolute power corrupts absolutely.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, DM. Spell. I have that spell in the background. I would have definitely, like, I know I messaged you before about it, but I would definitely have put it into work this year, the clone spell for Crowley. So it's just there.
Yeah. I ain't dying again. That's what I cross it. Not again.
I've got a daughter now. I can't leave her alone. Then she's just going to become the next Crowley. It's a vicious cycle.
Who's the two?
Crowley to Orion.
I think it's gonna be me and Pippa.
Okay.
Pasha and Pip? Or yeah?
I can go.
Confirm. I'm doing a visual check of everybody.
Wrestling is not really my strong suit. It's more support, I have to add.
I don't think it would be physically wrestling when spirits are involved. I don't think you're going to be like, oh, I've only got a +1 strength. I guess Gandalf beats me.
I guess so. Well,
Gandalf also has a +1 strength.
Fighter, though. Who's a good fighter?
Listen.
Okay.
Crowley's very involved in spirits, so it's fine if Crowley goes.
Hell yeah.
Okay. The two of you go. You are followed by two spirits closely behind you that are not your friends.
I inspire everyone before I leave.
Sure. Okay.
Don't say goodbye.
Describe the location that they find Gandalf and what he's doing.
I don't know, man. What does the edge of death look like?
You tell us.
Like, what
It's
does the
your edge
border
of your
between
death.
life and death look like?
Your death. So what's it look like?
Hmm. I mean, I think the one other time Gandalf's died, it was those woods, and I think it's the same. It is this endless, because there's not an actual border. There's not like a physical, like, invisible wall that he's pushing up against, but it's the same just endless sea of dark woods. And similarly to it's a weird similar situation of last time he was being, like, he was trying to get to the cabin to be able to be resurrected while being chased by some monster from Zoriat, or this creature from Zoriat, or at least something of that nature. But now he is trying to avoid and oblivion, a kind of oblivion, a like most certain death, while trying to find a path back to the material plane. So it's just an endless dark forest with that big ass mountain in the background. Like, the scenery never really shifting, never actually really seeming to get anywhere, but looking nonetheless.
Okay. Koshik and Crowley, you see Gandalf's spirit moving about through these woods, trying to find an end to them that he cannot find. Two spirits follow you. So here's what we're gonna do. I feel like this music is a little bit too calm, so we're gonna turn up the volume, pump up the jams, as it were.
Pump up the jam, pump it up.
Find Gandalf's spirit, attempting to find a place to escape these dark woods where he's found himself before, where an eyeless abomination attacked him once before. He does not find it. Mountain in the background with a Colosseum type building atop it. A small figure in the distance, barely visible from here, looking down at what is happening. It's a skill check, you three. Choose what skill, tell me why. The first of you, right now, at this stage, meets it, beats it. Tell me what you're using, Gained when you're rolling against them. And tell
I'm
me
rolling
why.
against them, so I have to pick what to roll, like, am I picking my own skill, or
You
am I
are.
I'm just rolling an opposed whatever they pick?
No,
Oh.
you are rolling your own skill, and you're explaining why. So,
Interesting.
I would like our attackers to go first, because that is what you are in this instance, as you're ambushing your friend's spirit. What are you doing?
After you
I want to
stab
hear what
the
they're
rest,
rolling
handle this.
first to
Yeah,
inform.
that's what I said. Our attackers are going to
okay.
to go first.
I'm gonna use my brain, Crowley. So this might take a second.
Crank up that diesel, girl. We gotta
I
get going.
gotta juice this thing up. Just give me just a second.
God damn it,
dial
juicy
up.
radiance and juicy engines. What's going on here?
Engine made of gushers.
Ugh. That's what my brain feels like sometimes.
What you rolling there, Crowley?
Yeah,
I'm gonna persuade him.
Okay, that's a good one.
Okay.
Persuade the
persuasion.
soul away.
Go ahead and roll it.
You want to persuade him to oblivion?
You just want to roll it and then describe how you're doing that.
I'm gonna tell. Okay, so Crowley's gonna look to you. He's like, "The world is not working as you foresaw. You taking power, it's impossible now. The Shining Vanguard has expanded their reach too far. You know you're not the true Gandalf, not as he was. Let the spirits take you now. Embrace them." And my roll is a nat 20 for 43.
43. Okay.
That's pretty good. Good.
Hey,
Okay.
scrub
Not
a
bad.
dub is all I'm saying.
Not bad. Not bad.
Kaushik.
Can I piggyback off of his persuasion using insight to see if the persuasion had any effect on Kingdom?
You're gonna use insight? Yeah. Go for
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Just picking up on the subtle cues as you would any physical person, but through his spirit, like just trying to figure out if he's got the old cogs turning in that brain. 18 plus 11 for a 29.
29. So insight and persuasion.
Insight and persuasion.
Yep.
And I'm going to be completely honest. There is nothing. I have nothing that has a plus 23 to it. It is literally physically impossible for me to beat a 43.
Okay.
So, I think that, I mean, persuasive or not, he is not persuaded, but he does the opposite of trying to flee and avoid, because this spirit of Gandalf, I mean, multiple pieces of him were mechanical before he died, so those are missing from his soul. So this spirit has one arm and is missing an arm and an eye, and while he's seeking through these woods, but upon this, like them popping up, getting his attention, and saying all this, especially saying that you, like, literally, it doesn't even matter if you come back, you can't win, like you cannot achieve what you want, and also saying that he's not Gandalf, that he is not him. You are not you. I think that at this end, I mean, understanding that they're wanting to take him away somewhere, and probably that where that is bad from his perspective, I think that results in just a furious last attempt, as you know, missing the eye and the arm, but flaring out with basically the facsimiles of an arm and an eye of silver flame that he does still possess. He tried to kill them, and, like, tried to rip apart their souls and consume their portion of silver flame, but obviously not being able to succeed.
What are you rolling? Still want you to roll.
You still want me to roll?
I need you to roll a skill.
A
Attack.
skill.
Choose,
attack.
choose
Yeah,
which one.
can the skill be attack?
You want to roll an attack? Yeah. So
Sure.
that got up to plus 18 last time, right?
Correct.
Okay. So being that you physically can't succeed unless you roll a natural 20, of course, then
Right.
that will go up to plus 20.
Okay. So rolling is a 21. Because I
21.
rolled a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
You roll just like the real Gandalf.
I do. Yeah, that's what it's me, baby.
Crowley whispers that in Gandalf's ear. The two of you ambushing Gandalf's soul hear those two other spirits following closely behind. The floor of the forest falls out from underneath you. Pine straw and detritus falling into open oblivion as you tackle him down and through this spiritual world. And mist starts flying by you. Fog, you've been here before. The edges of oblivion. At this stage, the skill that you used last round is no longer applicable. You cannot use that skill. You now need to beat Gandalf by 5 or more to take him past the state as he continues to fight. Tell me what you're rolling and why you're rolling.
So Crowley's going to roll deception this time because he knows you're controlling the spirits and the way the world and perception of everything going around. He's just going to start whispering. He's like, look at you. You're nothing. You think you have the arm. You have no arms. You have no limbs. You are fading away right now. Your soul is going beyond the veil. There is nothing here for you. You are not Gandalf Wynar. You are a shade.
Roll it up.
And then he'll roll it up. I'm sorry, I had this poem written up for Gandalf. That's my bad. 32.
32. Okay. Caution. At any point, if you don't want to roll your own skill check, you can grant advantage to the other. One or the other. That is up to y'all.
Oh, okay. I can still roll mine.
Okay. And you are both inspired.
What is that?
I just rolled a 9, by the way.
Inspiration is 3d6 or 3d8 or 3d12.
3d6.
It's
3d6.
3d20? 3d20? You said 3d6?
3d6.
Yeah, it's 3D6.
Huh?
Okay. Okay, wonderful. I can use this skill. I can use persuasion, right? Even though Crowley used it the first time.
Mhm.
Okay. I will be using persuasion this time. On the way down, taking a little bit of a different approach than Crowley did, rather than with shame, with a little more. I promise you, this is what's best for you, and this is what's best for everyone. This is the only way that we'll be able to get a modicum of our best friend back. And I'm so sorry that this has to happen, but it's the only way. Another 18. I'm gonna save my inspiration in case I really need it, I think. Because that is 18 plus 9 this time for... Oh
27.
gosh, 27. Yes, I was almost there. I almost got to the math. Juicing up the brain. 27.
32 and 27, and you need to beat Gandalf by 5. Okay. No one's got anything else to add. Gandalf.
Should I use inspiration? Oh god, I'm so scared.
Boy, oh boy.
He's gonna kill me, isn't he?
I don't know, I guess it depends. It depends. Am I just trying to? Am I intending to escape their clutches, or?
That is up to you. You can't roll an attack roll again, but you can roll whatever skill you wish.
I'm gonna try to roll a stealth check because I have advantage on those. Is easily my highest highest skill.
Okay.
That's smart.
Probably had the higher roll of the two at 32. You need to beat a 27.
Okay, so I have to hit a 27 or higher.
Yep.
That's what, like a 6?
That's a natural 20 for a 37.
Okay. Caution and Crowley, I want you to tell me what memories go first.
What does that mean?
I want
Like
you
what
to tell me
memories we
what
lose?
memories in this instance, as Gandoin gets the better of you and starts plunging you through oblivion. I want you to tell me what memories go first.
His
Of
or
their
ours?
own memories.
Correct. Of their own memories.
Oh yeah.
Memories, plural.
How
Me
many
again.
do you want? You want a section of time?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably for Koshik, the freshest memories would be the ones that go first, the ones in the forefront of our mind. So I would say the past, however long you want it to be, few weeks, few months. DM, I can roll for it if you want. But yeah, everything. We'll say from like the final stint of fighting, the end of like the Zoriat invasion, through the rebuilding efforts, through bringing Dario back, through all of the time spent with Lydia and her mother recently. Just the freshest memories in Koshik's mind for the past little while will be the first to go.
Okay. Crowley?
Will probably be the memories of the heart-to-hearts he's had with Gandalf, them speaking to each other, and him promising that he would take care of Crowley if Crowley ever betrayed the Shining Vanguard.
Okay. Gandoin gets the best of you two in this instance. Slipping out from your arms, you fall further into oblivion than he does. You have a chance to recover here.
Just barking out in response to what they had said previously. Just fucking as that silver flame flares before vanishing, so it can slip out away from them. That there is no other me. There's only me. And I overcame a weakness, a lack of desire for this crown, and I will make something incredible.
Okay. Still have to beat it by 5. Gandoin succeeding that round. Can't use the skill you've used yet.
Okay. And we can give someone else, what's the word?
Advantage.
Advantage.
Yes.
You can give
Yeah.
someone advantage, yes.
Do you want to go Koshik, or do you want to give me advantage?
I want to give you advantage.
Okay.
All right. Crowley, describe what you're using. Koshik, describe how you give him advantage on it.
Can I also give him my inspiration? Can I roll the dice and give it to him as well?
If it's on a round that you're granting advantage, I'll let you use your inspiration, yeah.
Oh, okay.
She said inspiration, not their day 20s. But anyway, Crowley's going to use intimidation, sensing like this surge of emotion coming from Gandalf, and he's just going to pull himself up and like let his spirit flare. And he's like, I sense how I see you're scared. You're scared, you're worthless, and you're going to go into oblivion. You know for a fact that if you came back, you would be less than yourself.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be as strong as you once were. You are nothing.
Tell him, Crowley. That's how Kasha's giving her advantage. She's being his hype man in the background.
That's disadvantage. That is the opposite of intimidating. What the fuck is this?
Okay, and what are you rolling at advantage there, Crowley?
Crowley is rolling intimidation
Intimidation. Okay, go ahead and roll.
for 42.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say before you roll, tell me if you want my inspiration.
26 to a 42, so thank you.
Okay, gravy. Against an intimidation. I mean, I don't see anything else I could roll besides insight.
Okay.
Which is well, there you go. Nat 1 for an 11.
That one.
I think that loses.
On a natural 1, Gainwin, I want you to tell us what sections of life disappear for Gainwin right now. Entire swaths of what's part of your life disappear.
I think is like just that. Probably saying some of the things that are are actually some of Gandalf's worst fears is he just wilts from that, from where he was going to start going to try to shove them further into oblivion before they could do it to him. Just falters and sinks in himself. Man. Let's see, how old was Gandalf when he died? He was 23? Let's see here. The first two to go are some of his earliest memories when he was probably around 5 years old. Some of those earliest memories of being in the caravan with his parents as they were, teaching him really just about anything, like his, father trying to teach him how to juggle, because that was something that he had seen a fellow, another passing caravan dude entertain children. It was something that he had kind of insisted on. Well, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to do that. And so his dad, not being able to juggle himself, had done his best. And some evenings by the campfires wiped away, as well as probably some memories he's not so sad to see go from when he was 17, and still in those waning early times spent in the war, of endless battlefields of metal on flesh and people dying. It just goes.
Okay. One more success from our team here. You need to beat Gandalf by 10 or more in this instance. You cannot use a skill you've already used.
Well, go for broke, I guess. My last plus 18 ability.
Which is?
Can I grant him grant him advantage again?
I'm gonna perform. I'm gonna make it seem like I'm growing stronger as this goes on. That'll be the performance of a lifetime for Crowley. As he starts to expand his soul and let it seem like, everything is growing smaller around him. It's like you're fading into nothing. Watch. We've already pulled all your strength from you. Make it seem like the silver flame is coming over to him. I did a deception, but it's a performance. It's a performance. Trust me.
Koshik's going to give you advantage on it.
And should I decide beforehand whether or not to?
If you're giving him an advantage, go ahead and say it. Or I'm sorry, not advantage, but if you're giving him your inspiration.
Can I ask how many more times we're going to be doing this?
Depends on if you're successful this time or not.
Okay.
He's got to beat it by 10 right now.
Yeah.
All right. So 1 second.
Okay.
My second roll, highest roll is a 14 plus 18. That's 32. I'm going to use my inspiration. Add 3d6 to that.
Okay.
That is now a 42.
42. Dana, when you need to beat a 32.
Don't.
This is if I fail this roll,
They win.
right?
If you fail this roll,
yeah?
they win.
They win.
You need a 32.
I have only one skill that could potentially beat this. But I cannot reasonably think of a good way for it to apply. So I'm gonna roll anyway, just because. But basically, this is I'm going to be conceding this as he does. As I'm gonna roll survival, as this is he knows that he is sinking into oblivion and is about to disappear. As he's desperately seeking a path out, even if it doesn't exist.
What do you roll?
Survival. And it was actually kind of close, with a 29.
The path out's there, Gandalf. You see it. And the worst part about it is if you could just get out of the clutches that now bring you to the brink of your non-existence, you could take that path back out. Is there any sort of narration that you would like to give for the true final moments of Gandalf?
I think that it says everything goes. Just memories stripped away, one after the other. That right at the end, at the last one standing, is a singular memory of I think the night before Malcolm died, when we were drinking and carousing in a bar in the More Holds. And I think in that instant before it too goes, the curse is gone. It has already been obliterated, but there's no stopping the process at this point. I think just seeing that Crowley and Kaushik are there. Is Crowley still wearing the mask, or is he just going around as Caiaphas now?
He probably put the mask on. He's got like a little wooden, like the original mask, the very
Right.
original one.
Okay. God, this is a lot harder than you would think. I mean, I guess that's the only memory that he's got left. He doesn't know about anything else that's happened. But all he just knows is that he's disappearing. All he knows is he's going. Crowley. You know, I'm sure y'all are gonna find her. Because he doesn't know that they ever found his daughter anymore. And he turns to Kaushik. As fades away. You don't know if anybody said this, but your hair looks great.
You hold in your hands pure spiritual energy. Washed clean of any curse, supernatural and mundane. A life washed anew. The path back is ahead of you. There is in no way that you'll be able to instill upon this new spirit, this cleansed spirit, an entire lifetime of memories and experiences that make a person. But at the very least, you can add a little bit there. The first two to go, as Bestian and Gwendolyn, follow their son to the edge of oblivion. They do not instill memories of themselves or Ganowin of his childhood. Instead, they just choose love. Whoever's coming back will be filled with love. And they cross over into oblivion as well. The journey begins back. Who would like to go first into whatever pseudo memories they would like to instill upon this new spirit?
Milo very specifically would not be trying to instill any memories. To his thought, this is someone new and should have only genuine new experiences. This is, to his view, not trying to recreate Gandalf. This is giving someone new the chance to live a fulfilling and better life using Gandalf's spirit in the same way that a person who dies can have their heart donated to someone in need. To try and instill his thoughts or memories would be a falsification and a disservice to whoever this person is going to be.
Okay. Who's next?
I guess through whatever pinhole of the forest above on the edge of oblivion, with vines of the underbrush coming down to try and draw this new soul out, or cleanse soul, and his friends back up to life in the world. He'll instill upon this new identity the type of selflessness that Gandalf had, the just small little consolidated moments from running at Mach 30 up an abandoned cathedral to save a guy, making sure that people kept up going through a cave while hiding behind a big giant snake with acid exploding all over the place. The one of his last memories that he let go was having a good time in a dwarven hold, even with someone he hated sitting across the table from him. And hiding behind a sheet to paint a mural for his friends that doesn't exist anymore. Those are it.
Who's next?
That would give memories of the young, sarcastic guy drinking in the pub of the hotel and awkwardly being undercover at the ball, having a little bit of a good time and a little bit of a what the hell am I doing here awkwardness. And she would also share the memory she has of sneaking up, even though she was told to stay behind, and seeing the sobbing in the woods of somebody who feels deeply for their people and what they've done.
Azor.
Yeah. So I think for Azor's part, he'd go back to probably very first memories of just testing out his sneaking abilities with Gandalf and not really trying to instill those memories on this new soul, but try to instill like brotherly kinship onto this new person. Going through all the times that they were the lead sneaky two sneaky boys of the party. Just all right, let's scout it out. Make a competition of it. Who's sneakier?
Crowley and Koshik. Yeah, go ahead.
I just, I don't know if we're supposed to be giving him memories too, but I did have something for him. But it's just as the time comes for his spirit, this spirit, to be reconnected with Gandalf's body. I have a memory, but it's not one of him or for him. Well, it's for him, but you know, it's just going to be the memory of Lydia giving me back his book and his cloak and saying that he's going to need this protection more than she does. And I know it's not corporeal technically right now, but I am going to pull his cloak out of the bag of holding where I put it. I'll leave the book for a later point in time, but I'm just going to wrap it around this this full spirit here, and just say to him before we've got a long road ahead of us, but we'll all be here for you all the way, no matter who you come to be. So, just letting him know physically and reiterating it verbally that he will be protected by the Shining Vanguard regardless.
Got anything to add there, Crowley?
Rather than any specific memory, Crowley being backward with how he does things, what he'll call specifically for Gandalf is every moment, every perception of defiance and hard-headedness Gandalf has ever shown to do what he thinks is right and to stay, even when crossing. That's what he will instill. The brashness, the temperament, that is what made Gandalf what he was to the Shining Vanguard. And that's what he will implement.
These cameras are moving around like my emotions right now. So, Ian, brother, this is Gandalf's story.
Mm-hmm.
I got a reincarnation table right here.
Okay.
You want to give me a D100 roll?
Hell yeah, I do.
Hell yeah. He comes out at level 20, right?
Yeah, come back as an angel.
When I wrap around it, I want to specify, because Kashyyyk has done this with everyone that she has loved in this campaign so far, but when I wrap the cloak around him, I want to give him a little kiss on his forehead. Sorry, I couldn't get that word out.
Yeah.
Can I inspire him
that's
for
what I've
like...
done every time I've resurrected anybody, or any time that I've had to say goodbye to anybody. So.
Can we get 3d6 on that resurrection table, just in case?
I don't think it scales.
I don't think it scales.
Can we just,
I tell you what.
To scale.
I
Come
tell
back
you
as
what.
a solar.
It's 2, 4, and a 5. I
Yeah,
got mine on it too.
I'll
13.
give you, if you want to inspire him, I'll give him a plus or minus 3d6 to a direction that he would like to go. Meaning if there's a race above or below, he would like to choose from.
I don't have the table. How am I supposed to know?
I'll give you the 3 choices.
Intuition.
Okay.
That's what Crowley wants to do. He just wants to make sure that the new Gandalf has everything. The odds are in his favor.
Okay.
Just comes out as a grung, like, I don't want to be a frog.
Oh, we gotta call him Blue. I don't want to cry.
True
again, but
polymorph go burr.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Oh man. Well, that's a 98.
Jeez.
Ooh.
That's
Say
big.
98.
Always have, baby.
This new Gandalf rolls hot.
Then you're gonna have to describe what Gandalf looks like when you come back on the other side as an Aasimar.
Crowley called it.
As an Aasimar, the other campaign I played.
Yeah, that boy's an angel.
It's faded.
Well, you want to know something funny?
What?
That it's the highest one I got on here. But if you do want to use that 18 to go a little bit lower, Grung is the one below that.
I think I'll stick to it. I'll
Holy
stick to my roll
shit.
for now.
Gloob the women. Oh no. Gandaloob. We could have called him Gandaloob.
I don't think we're calling it Gandalf at all.
That's why I said Gandaloob.
Oh man. Oh god, this is I don't I think as opposed to maybe the expectation of an Aasimar that there's nothing immediately and like expansively different. Like he doesn't, isn't going to, not 7 foot tall, built like goddamn Hercules or some shit. But whereas Gandalf had always been, he was never a big guy. He went through his formative years underfed, overworked, and stunted and like thin for it. Man who's hits several inches taller instead of 5'7", is either like 5'10" or 5'11". More filled out, less narrow features. Not quite so damn pale. He has spent all his time in the snow and the cold with no sun. With I think almost kind of coppery red hair that doesn't come much farther than his cheekbones, and with hazel eyes and with some those little bright shiny flecks in it. That's about all the detail I can think of. No broken nose, no scars.
Both of those beautiful hazel eyes.
Both of them. He's got them both.
And both little
Both
hands.
those eyes. Both hands. Yeah, no missing, nothing missing.
And full of the silver flame.
And full of the silver flame all the same.
I'm
And
going
full of
to
love.
go through a bit of a recap of some NPCs that aren't so close to you. Your close NPCs like Erish, Nax, and the others will, they'll follow under your purview for narrative reasons. And
Real quick before you
Yeah.
do that, for the sake of continuity, I do want to say when we get back out there, things are going to be a little rough for Kasha because she's not gonna understand what's going on. She don't remember any of this. We're still fighting in her brain. So she's gonna have to be sat down and talked to for a little while.
He's gonna be in the middle of the fight, and then no, it's okay, everything's fine. Oh, it's a trick. It's a trick. No, I'm going
Dario's
crazy.
gonna come around the corner with some flowers, and she's gonna pull out a knife. But like, hi!
Who are you?
So Matilda from Flamekeep.
He was the one, Barkeep.
She considers the events of Flamekeep a bit too intense for her taste. She eventually sells her tavern and buys a hot air balloon where she flies across the world with her husband enjoying retirement. Captain Henri Brunel became a well-known extraction pilot, rescuing an untold amount of survivors. After the war, House Lyrandar granted him a fleet of 12 airships, which he now runs as a collective of party ships that sail the world. Gilly the Flumph, under Owl's perch, was eaten approximately 12 minutes after the party left the caves.
That's where the campaign should have ended.
Neela Solomon uses the funds given to her by the Shining Vanguard to open a school, Solomon's Academy for the Blind, where she will teach until her last days. Lydia Solomon. While a student at Solomon's, Lydia also becomes a teacher, creating an after-school program of sorts where she trains her classmates in the ways of stealth. After her mother passes, Lydia goes missing. But if you ask some low-life criminals in Sharn, someone has been beating the ass of gangsters around the city, especially those that would cause harm to children. Bashar Yassin works diligently as a diplomat to solidify a home for the refugee Kyrans. Successfully negotiating a treaty with Breland, Chirans are granted land and their sovereign citizenship. A treaty for which Prince Origev Wynarn is given the credit, and Yassine's name never mentioned. Orville and Nimrod of the Sorcerer's Stone and Sharn were turned into gnomish ceramorphs, but ultimately retained most of their personality. Artium's purchasing of Nimrod's Wand of Smiles caused Nimrod to approach Orville in some seriousness. After making up years of not speaking over a jug of Nimrod's patented giggle juice, the brothers made amends and combined their shops once more to the Squidling Sorcerer's Bitchin' Magical Goods and Oddities.
Hell yeah.
Bitchin'.
Kalara Jadek, or KJ. If anyone were to reach out to her during or the close months after the invasion, you would hear what she has been saying inside of her own head for quite some time to keep her sanity. I am Kalara Jadek. My mind is my own, and I protect the kids of Tavin Orphanage. Which she did. Eventually, she used the sum of money given to her by a fellow street rat to open a taxi service giving jobs to kids that need them, and they grift tourists for years to come. She still drives the Silver Bullet.
Dear God.
Jarrett Wellham, bully of Milo Goggins, after excavating and plundering a tomb of ancient Zendrixian mummy, after plundering the tomb of an ancient Zendrixian mummy giant and not listening to the guides his father paid a lot of money for, developed mummy rot in a very sensitive area and died shortly after. Sidan Boromar, working with Crowley under various guises, and the power vacuum that follows in the underworld exponentially grows his wealth and reach. But of course, the lesser creatures of Corvair aren't too hard to convince when you're a silver dragon. Nichols from Moonwatch went the entirety of the apocalypse without knowing the apocalypse was happening. He and his tugboat were slowly hauling 1,200 barrels of pickles to Zendrik, but he and his crew kept stopping to look at the sky. Got to appreciate the little things in life, but definitely got to appreciate when the moon blows up, Cerberus goes all wibbly wobbly, and the sky goes purple, as Nichols would say. After the depetrification rains washed down from the holds, River in Scairn still runs the Yawning Yeti, along with the help of a Yeti family that arrived in Scairn, led by a frost-covered metal weasel. Charles, Anita, and Lucy all run them together, and they've exponentially increased their business. River and the town council voted to have a shining bronze obelisk placed at the docks, where script reads, "Here heroes stood," where the town and some out-of-town misfits stood against an undead incursion. And last but not least, for what I got, Jeremiah, Agariel, Soul, and Madison will continue adventuring together for a while after Soul's return, helping the world recover, but we'll call it quits after a few years. Agariel is currently missing and on the run from at least 4 different law agencies. Soul will travel back to Arcosa, where he will serve as a relationship development coordinator under a freshly rescued and defrosted Samuel. The two will work with the flesh-bound lawmakers of Corvair to strike down antiquated laws and to create new policy regarding the machine race of Eberron. Madison's lycanthropy reveal to her friends ends up being fairly anticlimactic, with the general answer being a collective. That makes a lot of sense. And after she proposed to Jeremiah, they have 2 little cubs who are able to control their shape-shifting. Madison, being attached to her last name as she was, kept it. And now the 2 Wren brothers get bigger every day with their parents in the western farmlands of Thrain. Shining Vanguard and my friends, it's your turn to end your stories.
I don't want.
Oh,
Let's slide one more. Richard reappears out of nowhere in Thrain.
Yeah.
Naked
You
and
don't like it.
Archeon casts True Resurrection on Richard. That's it's his last act. Disappears from him now. Archeon and Erish will head back to Thrain and find where Lucas is buried. They will dig him the fuck up.
He was an
They-
ash pile.
Oh. They will cast True Resurrection.
They will dump him the fuck out.
Yeah. Cast True Resurrection on him. And together, give him their 2 portions of the Silver Flame. The rifle holder to the legacy of Thrain, to someone who will be responsible for it, with it. And however he sees fit to try and defend his people and his country, or whatever Corvair evolves into after all of this mess. But as far as having a Druid Grove out near Alexander's hut, that'll remain a constant hub for Archeon and Erish's travel. But after over a year of Archeon promising Erish a vacation, they eventually will go. And Erish will accompany Archeon back home. They'll have to take a pretty long trip by airship, and it'll be packed in with a dinosaur and a massive dog and a goblin and whoever else wants to accompany them. But they'll eventually get there, and they'll see the place. They'll see what it's grown into. They'll stay a couple of weeks, then they'll come back home. Archeon will, for the most part, spend most of his days hopping across back and forth Corvair, spending some extra time to rebuild the southern section of Droam and trying to help those people get back on their feet, because he especially messed them up. And on top of that, we'll explore the Bishik Caves and Droam and use those as other means of travel, as well as with a network of trees that he'll have set up across the world, really. He refuses to stop. He will keep trying to help people. He'll help out his new friend whenever he can, who doesn't have a name yet. Whatever he decides to do, maybe they'll have a couple of hunting trips and he'll teach him a thing or two about survival.
After a year of restoring Droam and attempting to repair and undergo some form of penance, a golden disc will appear in your hands one day, Artyom. A golden disc that outlined the crimes that you are charged for on the plane of law, for an oath broken to one Melgrim Anvrand.
Before I open it, Archeon's be like, I saved these whole people from being stoned. What? They get me still on the hook for this shit.
The text will flare and will disappear and will turn into gold dust into your hands. Crime in the law, a crime in the eyes of the plane of law, answered and paid for. And I forgot to turn the music back to calm. It's still very intense and sad and stuff. So I'm sorry. There we go.
Also, depending on how things go with Milo, Artyom would definitely try, now that he's an upstanding citizen in the plane of law, try to get his rap sort of maybe lessened to probation rather than outright manhunt. He did save the material plane after all. I mean,
Yeah.
If Artyom approaches the Council of Law with that argument, he will be met with blank stares and questions about where Milo Goggins resides at this very moment.
what are Milo Goggins' crimes again?
Aside from nearly ending the entire cosmos.
Are you is it a crime to almost do something?
Yes.
Why?
Artyom is teleported out of the plane of law.
I don't like that question.
Artyom will contact Hageshiri and be like, you got to get those guys in line.
The fuck do you want me to do about it? I'm not even there anymore.
Where are you at?
Argonessa needs help. A lot of rebuilding needs to be done.
Dragon time.
I know someone who can get there really quickly. Who owes you a favor for saving the world.
I'm here. Right now.
Censor appears.
Holy fuck, did you not believe me? I'm right here.
Go near our big tree.
I showed you. She walks towards a big tree. I should have never given you that fucking ability to ever fucking contact me, ever. This is bullshit. This is too high of a price to be paid just for trying to help the world.
You shouldn't give Erish that tea. He loves it so much. He's going to have to come back every time, get more tea.
That's fine. I like Erish.
Oh, that's terrible. You don't like me? I mean, I know I'm annoying, but that Brontosaurus thing, I hit you so hard with that fucking tail. Anyway.
Are you supposed to be helping your case? You know what? Actually, yeah, turn into a Brontosaurus. We need help. As Argonessa needs help to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's next?
Speaking of Milo, I guess we'll go ahead and piggyback off of that. I already said he was traveling around and kind of becomes a cryptid, doing good, but I think primarily not considering himself the hero type, but definitely needing to counteract those things that Artyom tried to argue against on his behalf. Milo knows he did a whole bunch of stuff. The torture and murder of an archfey that lasted hundreds of years, stealing the heart of a Solar, and a dozen other crimes beside. There will be other Idrils and people like him, but instead of confronting directly, Milo will make sure that the heroes that come after them have what they need. Probably surreptitiously. And knowing that far worse than Idril, there will be another being like the entity, another invasion of Zoriat or something equivalent. And that is what he'll be holding himself for when it is needed. other than that, just for as long as they live, his parents and the more mortal of his friends popping in every now and then, probably unexpected, very Gandalf-esque. And then vanishing again, probably on the run for quite some time. Unsure if the scales will ever be equaled out in the eyes of the law, Big L. Yeah. Eventually, when those that remembered him as Milo Goggins aren't around anymore, he'll simply be the one watching from the shadows until he's needed.
Otto
About
as well.
Otto?
Otto as well.
Yeah.
I like the idea of some ambiguity with how Otto's rule of Arcosa goes. That's what he would have committed himself to. He doesn't half-ass or half-heart anything, and he didn't half-ass or half-heart that either. He's, will take that front line that his father didn't. But not just as the frontliner and the hero, but also as the Bastion, constantly trying to temper himself, guided by Sol and Samuel, and working together hand in hand with Artyom and Crowley to help create a world that, it's not, I say human nature, it's not the nature of sentient beings to be completely peaceful or to be completely good, but to try and make it as peaceful and as good as possible. He definitely enjoys spending time with his cousin, who he will, like it or not, try and develop a relationship with.
Yeah. So for Azur's story, ends up eventually, time goes on, marrying Rekka, having a colossal amount, whatever that may be, of children with them.
87.
Sure, why not? We'll see. Good Lord, that's a lot. But using his biological mother's house Leandar to travel the world and rebuild the Gashkala to be stronger and more out in the world. Maybe not necessarily sharing secrets, but having Gashkala all over, ready for the next Zorian invasion. All the while going back and forth to the plane of air. Gotta spend visitation with old Papa Zur anytime he needs a vacation. Eventually legitimizing his heirness, I guess, to House Leandar. And I'm sure after a few years, unfortunately, life took its toll. And having the entire Shining Vanguard come for the natural conclusion of his parents that raised him life, to have visitation with that, just for it to be a celebration of their lives and not mourning. They're off to better places. They got to see the Gashkala becoming stronger.
Hell, I'll go ahead and go since I got 2 as well. Brune, I think to little surprise, obviously at this point, survived his titanic scuffle with gods of madness, though I'm sure his knees and other all joints and body parts are probably a little worse the wear for it. But after the fact, and everybody being destoned by Artyom in time, will once again gather up his people. And while I'm sure the Underdark isn't quite so dark and not quite so mad anymore, there's still a lot of damage to everyone under his wing, and so setting off to find somewhere better still seems like the right thing. Not necessarily seeking any longer to flee Corvair, because now they do know some folks who are here who have looked out for them, and maybe you'll look out for them again, or perhaps they can help them sometime. Well, they'll eventually settle, I think on a beach somewhere, so a little farther to the south, maybe somewhere close to Stormhome. And they'll settle. They will thrive. They'll get used to the sun and not living underground. And Brune will be able to take up his family's trade again, Smidja. He'll be able to be a smith. Just make things rather than break them. I do have another guy, don't I? Very different fella. Jay is gonna wander. Basically, that is what he feels compelled to do. I mean, after waking up all of a sudden amongst a bunch of people that, shockingly enough, it does not feel threatened by, as odd as that is, a bunch of strangers that feel safe. He'll eventually begin to just travel. Walking, mostly. I mean, he could get there through this dude named Artie, and let him know that, he could teleport him through trees around if he needed it, but I mean, that's not as fun as walking. It's not as interesting. You don't get to see as much. You can travel from town to town, cities, seeing Sharn, visiting, God damn it, the pirate folks. God damn it, I'm blanking on their names. But just seeing all there is to see. What's the word I'm looking for? Carousing, partying, hearing stories, telling stories, having experiences. And every now and then, whenever he does, bring a little bit of extra life and maybe even do a few odd jobs, solve a few problems, there'll be a little shimmer of silver in his eyes that are normally hazel. But at the end of the day, whenever, he's asked to introduce himself, he's Jay. Just Jay. And if anybody asks if that stands for something, usually he doesn't really elaborate, because Jay is what he was compelled to do. He was compelled to journey. And that is who he is and who he intends to be. Because that's all that matters.
The start of Koshik's, what would you call it? Individual journey, I suppose, is best broken down to one singular part of a poem that has always rang true for Koshik. She had a tattoo of it across her back by what was his name? Robert Frostborn, I believe.
Frostbringer.
Frostbringer, yes, Robert Frostbringer. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. Koshik is going to be spending a lot of time in the cabin doing exactly that, keeping her promises. She is going to do her best and hopefully succeeds. I'm in control of this narrative and bringing Crowley's family back. At least in whatever aspect that is possible. Traveling along with Dario, as long as he chooses to stay with her to places she has been. It's a lot different now in Corvair, but she manages to find where the bodies are buried of that lovely couple that was the first people to ever help her escape from her father. So she spends the time in the cabin asking if they'd like to come back, telling them the world is different now, but it's still the world, and it'd be better with them in it. So that happens a lot. Koshik's traveling, spending time in the cabin, trying to convince people that have died because of her that they should come back if they want to. And just generally spending her time trying to help anyone that she can. She does survive off of admiration at this point, like literally. But she will always keep a strong eye on her new friend. Another promise that she made, and she's going to make sure he stays safe. So wherever you find Jay, you might see a little bat fluttering around in the distance. A couple little bats in love fluttering around in the distance. Just keeping an eye on things. You never know. But yeah, that's pretty much. I think that's where it's gonna go. Yeah.
And then there was one.
Where? Just kidding. All right.
Crowley's.
Oh, and then there was two. I can't count. My bad.
Oh well. And after you,
I had an addendum for mine before Alex moves on after. Huh? Oh, go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead and addend.
I was just gonna say
Addend away.
heavily funded by his grandson and with tips and guidance from his son on his occasional visits. Milo's father would have established Goggins Medical Apparati Incorporated, become a middlingly successful creator of inventions that helped people instead of weapons. Taking some direction from his son, even though Milo is no longer in a position to be able to do such things. So small addendum, but wanted to throw that out there.
Crowley or Pitt? Whoever wants to go.
Please go ahead, Pip.
Said no, you.
Okay, I didn't hear that, so it was just a mic on and off. I mean, I'll happily go next. It's okay.
Okay.
Cough, cough, cough. Crowley's known identities to the Shining Vanguard are seen across Eberron, working in multiple locations at once or showing as blips on the map here or there. What is most confusing are instances of colorfully dressed masked figures appearing to provide tales of hope and interest across Corvair. Often these visits are accompanied by some upheaval as the truth comes to light, a little masked puppet jeering the truth as it dances around. Caiaphas and his daughter, Talia, journey to the Moorlands to say their final goodbyes to their family and life they once knew. Fulfilling their promises together, they spend a few years in Tour Corvair before Talua finally applies to college. Talia earns a full scholarship to GSU, or Grand Sharn University, go Ravens, where she goes on to graduate with full honors, majoring in emergency management of arcane disasters or catastrophes. Her father is very proud of her. Crowley is eventually reunited with his family thanks to Koshik, and they build a home in Tuki Tuki together. Though this was by no means a legitimate address, you have been warned. Crowley's youngest daughter is still an airship.
Amazing. Pip. It's Pip. She is always in the shadows. So over the years, RTM and Erish receive a changeling child to raise. Azur receives a changeling child to raise. Jay receives a changeling child to raise, because over time she gathers all the lost. She creates a safe space. In different places, they are orphanages, but ultimately she is trying to find loving homes for all of these children, particularly changelings, because it's really hard. Right? They are not accepted. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere and nowhere. So to some, she is the thing you threaten your children with if they misbehave, the Reaper. To some, she is the inspiration for your daughters, what they can achieve and what they can become. And often she is gone. She's gone to the north, she is gone to the wilds, but always she returns to her friends, maybe sometimes to Milo, to Jay to see how he's doing, to Koshik, to Azur, to her brother Nex, RTM briefly, because they kind of get on her nerves. They're way too happy. And a little bit to Crawley and his daughter. And then she goes. She tries to return to the plane of air, but it's not the same. So mostly she's on the move. But she's good with that.
Anybody have anything else? This is it, guys. Speak now, forever hold your peace.
We're still getting together for the annual family reunion where we go down to hell and get Sora.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if at any point we don't see each other during the year, at least we've got that one point.
RTM can scry at will. He probably has a day of the week that he just peeps in on you motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's fair.
To make sure you guys aren't dead or something.
Anti-scrying everywhere.
Tuesday morning check-in. What?
We got Pip on
Yeah.
Tuesdays, Zero on Wednesdays. Just, as Erish is making breakfast wherever they are in the world, just see how they're doing.
Probably
It's like-
re-up his
it's like
subscription. We cannot
it's like-
complete the call as dialed. Sorry.
It's like you're reading the newspaper down to Erish, but you're not reading the newspaper. You're just updating him on our lives.
I think other than that, everyone within the Shining Vanguard gets a Christmas card from the Azure family. We had another one this year. I don't know. It's crazy.
How does this keep
Another one.
happening?
And plus,
I-
Pip dropped one off, so we got 2 this year.
I am my father's son, I guess. Oh,
Oh God.
Not to one up anyone's Christmas card, but it's going to be a card, New Year's card from Crowley, whole family together, but they're all wearing masks. You don't get to see what anyone looks like.
Good gracious.
Azure's card has to say Happy Holidays. It's Azure.
Of course.
by the way, it's Azure.
Yeah.
And you also
You
get a
open-
sending. Did you get my card? It's Azure.
Open my card, it just plays a little tune, a little haunting melody. On brand. Also take over House of Yarn. Boom, done.
I think the only thing I've got to add is that I think that ultimately Autumn decided to not have her son, whatever she decided to name him, be involved with the monarchy at all. That she was able to, whenever it was refounded, able to. Oh God, what was it called? The college,
Arcanix
Arcanix,
or Arcanix, however you want to pronounce it.
Arcanix, whatever.
Arcanix.
Not as great as
got-
GSU.
I think she got to go eventually, and her son got to just grow up being a normal kid.
She will, after spending some time in Karnath and spending some time with the Meisters of Crownholm, will eventually name her child Bestian.
That's a good name.
Hell yeah.
At some point, Crown or Archhelm will steal Pip to help rebuild the dragon or Dragonacia. Give her a chance to build something rather than kill something.
And she will put her whole self into it.
One more thing. I put this in my written notes, but not my typed notes. Because of the Mournlands being gone completely, Crowley, ever since that last battle, gradually loses all connection to the spirit world. Let's go.
Archhelm spends a couple of months with an angry Erish. Just has a really tough time getting over the dreams where you think you're actually taking a piss, but you're still asleep, and he just keeps wetting the fucking bed, and it's so annoying. And he's like, I thought I was outside.
Oh no.
How many times do I have to tell you to not piss in the Candle Realm? We dream together. We dream together. I tell you not to whip it. I actively tell you. And you say, well, I got to
It's
go.
not true. You
and
don't
you
always
still
tell me not to
go.
whip it. I'm cleaning it up. We have magic. It's good. I'm sorry. It's air dry. Woo. It's fine.
On one of these trips, on an airship, Pip, an old drinking buddy, will pay a visit in the form of one Nilbo Wagwash. He will have cleaned up. He is wearing a little bit of bow tie and overalls. This is not something he typically wears. He says, well, I know we're on an airship and we're about to land, but I would like to, if you would be amenable to go out for an actual drink and not just like drinking buddies. I realize I'm short, and for that I will not apologize.
Boy,
King.
I just expect you to make up for it in effort.
Some wildly high heels.
Of course.
That's a yes. Wonderful. I now have a couple of little places around the corner. That went so much better than I thought it was. I was very worried about getting a dagger to the neck.
Well, don't make assumptions. There's always time.
A king.
Oh, I love that. Do we have anything on Mr. Gorham?
That is a story that is not to be told by me. So
There are more grudges to be settled. That's a big book, bro.
That's true. I've seen that grudge book.
Great Pappy Vecna.
are there any other additions we want to throw in there before we end it for the night?
Artyom has no clue how changing physiology works. So for a good 3 months, he assumes that the changeling boy sent to him is actually Pippa's child. So they don't put it to an orphanage or anywhere. They raise it herself. So they have their little son Gandalin with Glop and Mop and Bill and Slick and everybody else.
Not as great as that, but I do want to say one more thing. That money Crowley asked for so many months ago, it's finally arrived, and he sent it off to the Shining Vanguard as well. New down payment. I don't know how long
there
ago that
are
was. It was
so many
long.
different addresses on this, originally from Sharn, but it got misdelivered at least 24 times, Crowley.
You want something done right, you have to take over the whole operation. Da, da, da.
Artyom shows up on Crowley's doorstep at some point, and over the course of less than 48 hours, they find any remnants of jackasses stealing children and turning them into crystals, and they wipe them off the face of the fucking
Absolutely.
planet.
Spirit. Those are the last remnants of ability.
You will not find any more of that.
I would imagine not, but
if
just
you-
in case.
If you look hard enough, you'll find a trail that went to Woodhelm, a city so long ago where the trail led to. Leads north of there to a small town called Black Pit, which is really two cities in one. Surface city and then undercity of criminals. In that, you will find a criminal who has forgotten who he was due to a false hydra in the bottom of that Black Pit.
Oh, fuck that. Oh, no. Yeah. Yep. Cool.
Cool story.
Anything else, guys? No?
Well, in recent developments, I think that once a year, at a predetermined time, maybe I feel like summer festival would be an appropriate time. An airship shows up and gathers everybody from the Shining Vanguard and their families for like a week-long party and celebration and reunion. And then it delivers everybody and everyone goes back about their business.
Tyler just shows up for these things.
A couple hundred years down the line, the crown of Galifar is returned because it belongs in a museum.
Crowley and Artyom get together and write a book. Once we completely disassemble the monarchy, and we got like a nice
a nice democratic or republic type kind of thing going on, and it's a book about, you know, the time me and my friends saved the world and killed a king.
Twice.
Twice.
I think we go back and forth on the title. Eventually, we settle on Across Eberron.
There you go.
Sounds like a good book.
Thank you. It's a Sharn bestseller.
Going once.
I'm having a real hard
It's-
time letting this go. I'm not gonna lie.
It's only 8:30. We've still got half an hour. We need
Oh,
give me a minute to think.
Yo, I'll tell you what. The first day of school for all of your children, they get inspiration from Crowley. They don't know it, but it happens. They get inspiration.
Oh, good.
I like leaving the possibilities with Otto and Milo open-ended.
I think I got a good tail end. And they lived happily ever after.
Counterspell.
To one degree or another.
I'd like to think that maybe like 16 years down the road, the Celestials catch on and they know that Milo's going to be at the yearly Shiny Vanguard get together, and they have like a 4-month adventure where they're running running as fugitives from the plane of law until they eventually get some sort of negotiation going on.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
At some point during the ventures, Kaushik's gonna drop that book with Jay. It's a little light reading for you, brother. Does he know how to read?
I think he came back with better stats than Ganwin did.
Perfect.
If I had to re-roll them, I would hope.
Hell yeah.
Just like it has a little note attached to it. It's just as a gift now that you finally know how to read.
It's all part of the journey.
Rebuild Kyrie. There you go. Rebuild it all.
Okay.
Alright. Say it again, Ganelin.
Do what?
Say the tail end again.
Say the tail end, and they lived happily ever after.
Thank you.
No problem.
Vicious mockery.
God, what the fuck?
To our
As
enemies. To our
the
enemies.
Shining Vanguard live out the rest of their lives. Heroes to some. Heroes to most, rather. Nightmares for others. A lot of good is done. Some of you will watch your friends die. Hundreds of years will go by, and well, the lucky of you will go out a little bit earlier and not have to see anything, but have lived at least a mostly good life. But eventually time will take its toll on the entirety of the Shining Vanguard. Hundreds and hundreds of years. Well, in this story, as these hundreds of years pass, Shining Vanguard memorialized across the face of Corvair and Eberron and beyond. Immortalized in their children and the ideals taught and what they have left behind in this world. As we know all too well, time catches up to us all. We find the Shining Vanguard walking side by side once more. Led by an interesting looking man in an orange gi type of gear, having a conversation that seems to have started before you were even paying attention. And as you walk through a cavern, and large stone doors open, as this person in the orange gi tells you, "It is not often that invites are handed out to this place. Consider yourselves lucky. I don't know how much time you can spend, but as those stone doors open, what does Melgrim Anvrin say to his friends, having sent out a personal invite to hang out in the halls for a little while in the afterlife?
It's about time you all got here. This beer is almost warm. Come on.
Archer will be the first to join him. He'll jump over the rest of his
Oh.
friends and the dire will form.
You replaced me with a blue guy. He's pretty good shot. I
Be right
approve.
behind. I've heard so much about you. Give me that drink, lad. We've got so much catching up to do.
Yeah, I remember the last time I saw you, I was gonna kill you.
But you knew I was way more fun with a drink in my hand.
Oh, you always were. Come here. Just drink glasses.
Crowley will start to play some of the Clan Enrin songs of old and raise a beer.
Kaushik is going to take the time to introduce our good friend Jay to Melgrim and let them become acquainted.
I can't quite put my finger on it, but I feel a little familiar.
Aye, lad. I don't know what it is, but... yeah. You seem familiar as well. Sure, you're a great artist or something.
I tried my hand at it for a bit. It was fine.
The camera will pan out over the Shining Vanguard, reunited in the afterlife, for a time at least. And that's where we'll end our session.
Or
Yeah!
4 more years.
But the very last second, we're all dunked back out in some weird place at level 1.
Whoa.
Oh no,
Is it
no,
Faerun this
one.
time?
Forget you. No.
Thank you guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jones.
Thank you, Jones.
Yeah.
Good campaign.
Thank you guys so much.
It was worth a
Yes.
few years.
Each of us
At
only had
least.
to
At
manage
no-
one
no
thing.
more.
You had to do a whole lot more.
I got all my maps done on time for this campaign.
I didn't.
I didn't do anything on time for this campaign, but
You didn't even join on time.
yeah, I was even late. I was
I was too. I was like a month late. Don't be bad.
Okay.
Man.
Well, I think that's where we're going to call it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much if you've been here. Thank you guys for playing with me. We're Hard Knock Dice, and we'll be streaming again soon. Make sure you check us out on all those things. That'll be somewhere eventually. And until next time, much love.
We're not very hard tonight. We're just awesome.
Bye. Bye-bye.